Welcome to another episode of the Prep Coach podcast. The reason why I'm laughing is because we have to explain the reason why Scott's not here again. And we're like, do we make a joke of it? Do we just tell the truth? And we went through ideas of, do we say like, everyone loved us so much last episode that we decided we don't need Scott no more.
Everyone just loved the greenery. It was like more plants, less humans.
Yeah.
So and Scott would take up this whole couch.
He would. We would.
His quads are quite massive.
It actually wouldn't even work.
He's a large man.
No, in all seriousness, Scott, school holidays now. He's got some competing commitments, and he just couldn't.
Jen's been a bit under the weather.
Yeah, and he just couldn't make it happen. So another episode of us, not Scott.
Well, I think did we answer a question last week, or did we just?
No, we didn't.
Yeah, so we had questions, but
I had them, but we just started talking about. So
it's going to be something like that again.
Yeah, I think we'll do the same, but with a different topic.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Tell me about this coffee. So MG started to explain. He made me a coffee. He started to explain it. I was like, stop explaining it. Explain it to me on the podcast.
So this is so it's basically like you put it in the fridge, and it's a concentrate coffee. So it's a really strong coffee that you can either have as a black or mixed with milk.
So it's Nescafe.
It's Nescafe. It's called espresso concentrate. This is the sweet vanilla because this does have 10 grams of carb. But
oh, really?
I am looking to put on a little bit of weight at the moment. So 50 mils is 130 milligrams of caffeine.
50 mils is
145 in this one.
50 mils.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is all I gave you, 50.
And okay, so you made me a big coffee.
Yeah, and then I poured another 80 mil of milk in yours, the Paul's protein milk from last week's episode.
Oh, did you? Okay,
so cool. You've got a protein coffee now.
If I've got to run to go to the bathroom mid episode, you'll know why.
I only put a small amount for you. But yeah, this one's actually 145. So this is sweet vanilla. There's salted caramel, and there's just black. All right, so the black one's obviously got 0 calories, but this one's just got a little bit of carbohydrate in it.
So this is it's cold, so it's in the fridge.
Yeah.
So
how many mils is that in total?
It's 500.
Yeah, so there's 10 single shots in it.
10 servings in there.
Yeah, and it's normally 2 for 12.
So would you, if you want to have a warm coffee, you would add boiling water to it? You put this in a...
I've never had it warm.
Oh, really?
I've never had it warm. It's a cold brew.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Let's see what it says.
Because that's if I'm making a hot coffee in the morning...
Then this is not for you.
Okay, it's not for me.
This is not for you. Yeah, craft it your way, cold or hot.
Okay, so you would. I'm assuming you'd add your 50 and then you'd add the rest of the boiling water, and then a bit of milk on top.
There's a QR code for some fun recipes.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, well, this is the sweet vanilla, so...
You wouldn't add any sugar or anything?
Definitely not. Salud.
Cheers.
But yeah, if you're calorie conscious, and sometimes you just don't feel like a hot coffee.
Yeah.
So I always have them across summer, but some mornings I don't feel like... Yeah, boiling coffee.
Go back, wait. This is half a litre. If someone wants to just drink this whole half a litre...
145 by 10. 1,450 megs of caffeine.
Jesus!
Yeah.
So people...
Smell it as a concentrate.
Because... Jesus.
1,450. You'll know what...
Wow. Because like, half a litre is a water bottle, is a drink bottle. So what's stopping someone from just sipping this all day?
Death.
And
that's what's stopping you.
And having that much caffeine. Jesus.
1,450. 10-50 mil serves.
That can be dangerous.
It can be dangerous.
Wow.
That's a bottle of cocaine right there. That's what that is. But it's good. I actually do 100 mil in the morning, which is 290. And then that's pretty much the only coffee I have all day. Unless I train, then I might have a half a pre-workout, but I just have one of those a day.
Do you still have the heart palpitation issues?
I mean, I've always got that issue, but that's never made me trigger. No, you know what triggers me? An imbalance in electrolytes or really, really high stress.
Yeah.
Not caffeine.
You know why I'm laughing?
Because you've seen me.
No,
just so people understand.
The cramping story with Timsy.
Fuck,
that's what I think about when you cramp.
All right, so I've got atrial fibrillation, which is a heart condition where my heart goes into a regular beat. And sometimes it gets quite intense. And if it doesn't stop after a period of time, you can go to the hospital and they will shock it back into a normal rhythm. But there's a few, things you would obviously try first. So I've had that happen before.
You got medication, you got tablets, don't you?
I don't take anything. I haven't for a long time.
But you can if you have an episode?
I still haven't with episodes. I still haven't.
Okay.
But But yeah, I mean, it's not even. It's more just you take blood thinners because
Okay.
you want the prevention if you have a stroke or something. So,
Sure.
um, but yeah, I've only ever had to be shocked back in once, which was the first time it ever happened.
Really?
I was actually here, Pete. I was coaching Ryan.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I
Yes.
started to. I just fell to the floor, and I was like, "This is weird." And you can ask Ryan this. Ryan will vouch for me. He says to me, Do we need to call an ambulance or something? Is he okay?" And my wife goes, "He's fine. He's just having a panic attack." I promise. And Ryan put his Apple Watch on me, and the Apple Watch is like you got a problem. Like
got a problem,
yeah,
yeah.
you know, it's got the
Yeah.
heart sensor. Anyway, I did go to the hospital. I was there for a day and a half that time.
Yeah.
And then I think it was about 15 or 16 hours later, still hadn't reverted, so they did put me back in rhythm. But I've had lots of episodes since. I remember the first or the second Bali retreat. I was having a lot, almost every day, and that was
that's right.
because I was sweating so much. I was having an EAA drink,
Yes.
but I just wasn't having enough. I was having too much sodium,
Not enough.
way more than I have, and I wasn't having any bananas. I wasn't having any potatoes because we were on the meal plan.
Yeah, potato.
Whereas
intake.
at home, you know, I'm having 2 bananas a day. I'm
Yeah.
eating potatoes every, third meal.
Yeah.
So electrolyte balance actually is the thing that triggers me the most.
Yeah.
And it can be either way. It can be too far
Too much
diluted in
sugar.
sodium or the
Too
other
much
side as
of
well.
the other, yeah.
So
You still haven't the story about Timsy. No.
yeah, so this was after Sydney Nationals, and Timsy stayed in my room that night. He had his own room, but he wanted to stay in
And
my
we're talking about after a massive show.
2-day show, wasn't it?
2-day show, massive show, getting to bed super late, had to get up super early the next
For the
morning to
flight.
catch a flight. Like we're talking like 4:30 in the
Yeah,
morning.
so I was in dress shoes for 2 days straight,
Yeah.
emceeing for 12, 13 hours straight.
Yeah.
Just absolutely cooked in the legs. And me and Timsy, we went to bed. We were sleeping in the same bed. We weren't head to towing either, by the way. I think we were spooning at the time. But fucking hell, my hamstrings cramped to a point of like, you can contact Timsy for his recollection, but it was that excruciating. They were cramping so hard, the pain was so bad that one would go and I'd be trying to get it, then the other one would go and I'm like, just Timsy. Well, he's like, what do I do? It's like 3 a.m. man. This poor guy's half fucking asleep. What do I do? I'm like, just fucking lift my legs up or something, just stretch them. One would go, the other one would go. We asked him 10 minutes. It was just non-stop. They were going for 10 minutes straight. And how did I walk out in the morning?
You were wrecked, absolutely wrecked.
Timsy had been giving me a servo. Like I could barely walk, man. It was so, and I was scared to cramp on the plane.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I was just in so much pain. That was the worst that they've ever been, but thank God he was in there.
I'm just picturing if someone would have opened the hotel room
Man,
door.
even if you had to just walk past the door. The noises that were coming out between me screaming and him like, I don't know what to do. What is it? Hopefully now he's done. Like, he's first aid accredited, but I don't think cramping's in the first aid course. But he knows what to do now. But yeah, I couldn't stop him, man. I just couldn't stop him, and that's just because we weren't eating.
Yeah,
we were running on caffeine.
Yeah, of course.
I was drinking shitloads of water, but
no,
all I was having was water.
Yeah,
so my legs just I couldn't stop them. But nothing like that's ever. I haven't cramped that bad. That was the worst of my life.
Yeah.
Like it felt like I got beaten with a bat. That's how bad they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I got a great heart condition. So
how did we get here? We started talking about coffee.
Caffeine doesn't trigger my heart to Timsy. Yeah, legs up in the air. If someone had walked in, this is the image of nowhere below would have been Timsy like he had me missionary, and both my legs up in the air, but the screaming.
Oh, poor Timsy.
We had a great night.
Yeah, it was good.
Hey, and that was Sydney. Then the next season, we went to WA. He chose to stay with me again.
He
clearly wasn't that scarred.
He did. So, now, before we started, you mentioned if I knew about the Arnold Classic.
US.
US. Was it US or UK?
US.
US. And they had to come up with a public apology because there was another expo on at the same time and the bodybuilding fans weren't treating them nice. Do you want to tell me a bit about?
Yeah, it was. So there was a cosplay convention. It's like you have something at, say, the Brisbane Convention Centre, the Melbourne Exhibition Centre, and you've got, a bodybuilding show going on in one part of it, and then you've got a cosplay or an anime convention in the other part. So I don't know if...
Ooh.
They've got a knock at the door. This is rare. 1 second.
We're back. Someone trying to sell you some water.
Yeah. I mean, just quickly, you should feel that. That's fucking freezing.
Yeah, this guy came in that sells water fountains. And he came over, you showed him the one you got, and he came over and was like, that's just bloody room temperature.
It's fucking freezing.
Mine goes
Sure.
15 degrees cooler than that.
That'd be
I was like,
frozen. Just please, just for the purpose of the exercise. You do that, please.
That's cold.
Just
That's not room temperature.
it's freezing.
That's freezing.
Anyway,
He's like, yeah, nah, mate. Mine's
Ice.
Mine's ice. It's colder than that. Anyway.
crush the ice. So yeah, so there's a cosplay convention going on next to where the Arnolds are. Right, easily can happen, right? You think about the Expo Center, as I was saying, could easily have both. You know, Expo Centers are normally big. So I think what happened is not the federation, and not even fans, fitness influencers,
Mm-hmm.
bodybuilders, ex-bodybuilders. I think actually Greg Doucette was one of them, right?
Oh, really?
So they were just doing things like just being arrogant fucks, to be honest. You know, they were taking group photos because they put a lot of effort into these outfits,
yeah,
right?
I do, yeah.
It's not too dissimilar from bodybuilding in a few ways, if you think about it, which I can give you some similarities. But you got people who, you know, have dressed up and they put a lot of time and effort into these to these costumes, and some of them look fucking amazing. And they're just sitting there taking photos as groups of, like, because people dress up as, you know, from one say I dress up as a Ninja Turtle and there's other Ninja Turtles there. You know, you meet, you take
Yeah,
photos.
of course, yeah.
Right, it's again, I'm sort of on the side of, like, anyone who puts a lot of effort into something that they're passionate about should be celebrated.
Yeah.
These guys are, like, you know, trying to jump in their photos and, like, fucking be dicks and make fun of just like childish,
Yeah.
dumb fucking shit that honestly makes fitness and bodybuilders look stupid because of the fucking level of childishness. Because in fact, they actually looked more childish than the people dressing in the anime costumes.
Yeah.
And I think if you took a second to realize that people have put a lot of effort into this, and, you know, I just think about how many, you know, anime characters, you know, like a Goku, like, man, there's a lot of similarity between going to that sort of effort to look a certain way, which is what we do too. So I saw it and I just thought they're fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Excuse my language. And, you know, I'll give you an example. My sister-in-law, Maeve's sister, you know, she's fucking amazing. If you saw some of her stuff, I'll just show you, but just to give you a 1-second example as to the level of effort, Maddie Papa.
Yeah, Maddie Pepper does it, yeah.
Right? So, like, there's a lot of people who actually are into both, but, like, just to show the level of effort that,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
That's incredible.
that would go into, you know, like this is weeks of work.
Yeah, that's incredible.
So, like, to think that just because you've got muscles, it's cool for you to jump in
tease other
or
people.
make fun or whatever you thought you were doing, that, to be honest, was not even fucking funny. And the thing that I love the most is, one, the Arnold came out and apologized, as it fucking should. It's not the Arnold's fault. You can't control who's there, but I'm glad that they made that statement because
Yeah.
it shows that we're not going to tolerate
They're not
that
going
shit.
to tolerate that,
But other top level influencers who have huge followings, not even necessarily the greatest IFBB competitors yet, but like a, you know, like a Brandon Hardbody, for example,
Okay.
straight away is like fucking cosplay's elite.
Yeah.
So I think all it did was make those people look stupid. They're not a representation of the sport.
Yeah.
And there's probably a really high level insecurity going on deep down to make you want to do that and ruin a moment for somebody. And they're not a representation of us,
Yeah.
of the sport. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not.
Could you imagine if roles were reversed and there's bodybuilders walking around that
Or
just
they're getting ready to go.
or they just come off the stage and they've got the tan on them and then maybe they've got their t-shirt on
And
or
they're like,
whatever.
ooh,
and,
like,
and people
they
start
wouldn't do
teasing
that.
it.
They wouldn't do that.
Yeah, it just wouldn't do that.
So it's just like highly inappropriate. And there is a lot of bodybuilders who are into anime. Some of the best bodybuilders in Australia that we've seen on stage, who are great people, guys and girls, love fucking anime. Hey, just because I don't do the dress up, I love fucking Ninja Turtles, man. I got a fucking Ninja Turtle on my arm. It's fucking cool as far as I'm concerned.
When you think about it, some of the best bodybuilders
Think about Clyde Green.
are actually the characters in the movies.
See what I mean?
Like Lou Ferrigno, which competed against Arnold, he was the original Hulk. You took Arnold Schwarzenegger. How many roles did he play
100%.
that are now comics?
100%.
Like,
So I just think there was nothing that any of, you know, the people at that convention were doing to trigger or instigate any of these, but they were minding their own business.
yeah.
So if you feel like that's how you need to get your fun, you probably need to fucking take a really deep hard look at yourself, man. Because
I think we also need to think about this too, is if you're going to a bodybuilding show and you're congregating around that venue, treat other people with respect as well. Like if you've got pedestrians walking past and you're congregating around a door or whatever that may be, or someone's trying to get through,
Just
because
be mindful.
just be mindful, just be respectful,
Yeah,
because
it's basic respect, to be
you,
honest.
you want the public to go, I walked past the
Yeah,
bodybuilding show
that was also nice
and they're
and
all so nice to
complimentary.
me.
Yeah, what do I always say, man? Like, if you love a sport, which we love this, we have the responsibility of being a custodian of the sport.
Mhm.
And every action we do will either make people directly think our sport is amazing or terrible.
Correct.
So that's why I act in a certain way, conduct myself in a certain way. When I go out in public, when I go to the shops, I always do things in a certain way because I want to be a good representation for me, for my family, for my friends, for the sport. That it's really not a fucking hard thing to do.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you've had a bad day, if making fun of somebody else, which by the way does not warrant to be made fun of, some of those fucking costumes are fucking epic.
Yeah.
And the level of skill required to create something like that is so far past that person's IQ who thought it was funny to do that.
Yeah.
That, as I said, it's probably coming from an insecurity that probably needs to be addressed on a deeper level.
Yeah.
But hey, cosplayers, you're safe at our bodybuilding shows.
Definitely.
You are safe at our bodybuilding shows. We've got some that are here in this gym and they're all fucking awesome. So,
the other topic that we spoke about before we started the potty, to say, oh, maybe we should address this, because I had a recent conversation with someone that we know, and they were talking about how they've got some friends that were with some big name coaches, and they spoke about the experience that they had with them. And not to name any names or anything like that, but it was more to do with, what is the minimum that you should get from a coach? Like, what is the minimum standard that you should get from a coach, from like a check-in perspective? Should it be a Loom check-in? Should it be just a DM text message? Like, what should it be? Should you have a plan in place? Like, those kind of things. And some of these people weren't getting that from coaches that have a lot of respect in or what we call respect in the industry. So I thought maybe it might be a good idea to go through how we've evolved, right, of our service over time, and maybe talk about like what we think the minimum standard should be of what a client should be.
Yeah, we haven't touched on this for quite a long time, actually.
Because when you think about it, and my response to this other person was like, well, the industry doesn't know what to expect from a coach. There's nowhere out there where they can go and be like, okay, in the industry, every coach should have an app or some kind of spreadsheet, or they should have some kind of software where my program is. They should be giving me a check-in every single week, and it should be a voice recording or a Loom recording, or there's none of that details out there. So you can't really blame a client going to one of these big coaches and they don't even know what to expect. Like, what's the minimum level of service from a coach?
Yeah.
So what I thought is maybe we'll go through what we currently do and what we think is a minimum level of service. And then maybe we can talk about how that's evolved over time. It's definitely evolved.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe let's go back to the start and think about like we'll start with the first conversation, initial sort of inquiry, and then how it goes from there. And then if there's anything that either of us want to bring up of what we used to do versus now, we'll input it at
so
around that time.
That's a good idea. Let's start of you're an athlete, you're looking for a coach, you send that first DM to the coach, or you send that first inquiry and you submit the form on their website, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
What is the first thing that you should get in return? So
for me, I'll acknowledge the inquiry once I do open it, and I'm always looking to tee up either a face-to-face if they're close by, a Zoom consult, or a phone call if they're not close. But Zoom's typically my preference for anyone who's not in the local area. Pretty much within a week, to try and make sure that we align, the person's goals are achievable, if I'm the right person to be able to help them, and get a little bit of an understanding as to what's gotten them to this point. But that first thing would be, some sort of, I'll say face-to-face, but that can be a digital face-to-face consult where you get to ask each other some questions and work out if it's going to be a fit. There's also the catch-ups where you talk about pricing, what the structure is, what the plan's going to look like approximately over the next however long. So one thing that you don't do then is when someone inquires and says, I want to know about your service, you don't send them like just a message just explaining your services, or a PDF, or send them a link to your website, or some kind of just honestly
generic information.
Never once in 10 years.
Yeah.
Never. I can show you 10 right now that would be like, hey, thanks for reaching out, really appreciate it, would love to catch up, what's a good day next week? Yeah. Like that's how I and in an out of work environment, like if we're gonna look at doing something together, it's always like, let's have a chat about it, let's have a phone call, let's have a not a here's my because here's the thing, and again I go back to maybe a little bit of the background I had corporately and through sales. For me, it's like if I give you a number, $99 a week, $150 a week for coaching, you're basing your decision on a price.
Price, yeah.
But you don't know what I do, you don't know what I offer, you don't know what value I'm going to give you, and I don't even know if you're going to be a right fit for me. So if I just send you my services, and it's really easy for me, my services are online coaching.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah.
What you get as part of those services is a hell of a lot, but let me tell you about that properly.
Yeah, you can't have that over a DM message or
What is that list? Where does that list go?
Yeah.
Counseling services, like
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah,
some of the things that I get to do, with some of my athletes in terms of like the level of involvement I have. There's no way you could put that in a brochure.
yeah. I'm just trying to think. Actually, when I have that initial conversation with someone on the phone or whatever that may be, I don't talk about my services till the end.
For sure.
It's like normally I go through all about them, understand what their goal is. Are there any restrictions, injuries? I go through everything, and at the end I'm like, so have you ever worked with a coach, and do you know what coaching is about? Like literally at the end, like, well, what we do is we do this, and then I explain the coaching process and the logistics of the coaching, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But man, that's like 45 minutes into the conversation.
Yeah. Even like things like sending out forms. Sometimes I start with them. I haven't even sent them a direct debit yet. Like, I'm not saying that's great practice, but that's where my head's at. My head's at like, I'm in the people side.
Actually, that's a good thing to bring up. Do you do any upfronts? Like, you must pay me
Never.
X amount of weeks up front?
I never have.
No, I never have.
I've been week to week from day one.
Same.
I've never, ever pre-blocked anyone. Unless somebody's like, hey, I want to pay 10 weeks at once for budgeting for myself.
Yeah.
But I've never asked anyone for more than a week.
Yeah. It's interesting because a lot of people do have that where you pay up front. And I understand because they're trying to protect themselves. They do all this work to onboard an athlete, and then the athlete pays one payment for the week and then leaves.
Yeah.
But I have an honest conversation with anyone that I start with. It's like, there's no upfront. We start from week one and we go. We've built a level of trust between you and I, and we know that we're going to do the right thing by each other. And that's pretty much about it. If I know there's a red flag up front, I'll probably sense it, and we're probably not going to be the right fit. But
for sure,
I've never had that happen.
Yeah, same.
And the same with like, if someone wants to pause or leave or move on, it's never like, must pay me 4 weeks.
Same as me.
It's like, yep, cool.
Yeah, I've got a
pause button done.
I've got that same, like, let's just say your check-in's on Tuesday, and on the Thursday there'll just be that one last payment.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I don't have.
That makes sense.
I've never had anything like that.
Yeah. Okay, so an inquiries come in. The first thing you want to do is actually get on a phone call with them or a Zoom or whatever that may be.
Yeah.
And actually have a conversation.
Yeah.
So let's say it goes well.
Yeah.
It's successful. Then how do you onboard them? What do you do?
So at that point, I used to send out forms, but with the software that we use now, it's kind of all done digitally, which is nice. So there's two parts to it. So there's the Kahuna side, which is where you would set up their training, their nutrition. But within that, it's got a questionnaire which you can modify as a coach and ask basically whatever you want as the initial questionnaire.
Yeah.
In there's also where you can pick what you want logged from a daily data perspective, and also what you want assessed in your check-in.
Mm-hmm.
So you start to load all these things in, and then with the debit side, it's all done digitally too through an online debiting system. So there doesn't actually need to be any form sent out. At that point, I would say to them, all right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go away and basically tailor and build your plan, because no longitudinal plan for any athlete literally is ever the same. There's no reusable longitudinal plan. The same strategy I use for all athletes, but it's not possible to copy a plan because unless everyone started on the same week and was going to do the exact same show and looked exactly the same, which it's not possible. So at that point I say, look, it's probably going to take me somewhere between, I'll be approximate here, depending on how urgent it was, but as a typical rule, 3 to 7 days for me to be able to prepare you a periodized timeline, set up your new training block, get all of your debits set up, and put your nutrition together. Those all then come via email. At that point, I would typically get a second Zoom, or again, if they're local, to come in, and I'll then take them through all those things. Because if you've never used Kahunas to track training, or if you've never seen a longitudinal plan, which you've been doing this a long time, you could vouch for me. People have been bodybuilding for years have never seen a longitudinal plan.
Yeah.
Even competitors that have competed 4, 5, 6 times have never seen a longitudinal plan. For those that don't know, and I can give you an example for anyone who wants to see one. But basically, I will timeline out. Let's say you're going to, the goal is to compete in season A of 2028. Everything that we're going to do between now and 2028 in growth phases, which will also have, approximated rates of gain, total weight gain across that period, when mini cuts are going to be, when pre-preps are going to be, what the total rate of loss per period. Because I don't want to have to remember.
Yeah.
I want you to stay for 3 years. So if I'm a good coach, I can level up your accountability by giving you a 3-year plan. Because if you show us 3 years away, it's a long way. A lot can happen.
Yeah.
And going through growth phases can be difficult sometimes, especially when you're waking up. You're not really seeing the visible changes that you want. It's really easy to prep somebody for 26 weeks and have them connected to the journey. But if you're a coach and you want your athlete to think long term, you got to give them a long term plan. People just don't do it.
So you've set them up on some kind of technology, an app or a spreadsheet, whatever that may be, that has their nutrition, it has where they check in, it has where they put daily data in, it has their program. Then you probably have another spreadsheet or some other document that has their plan from today until when they hit the show, and probably they reverse it a little bit onwards after that point. So you got that's the minimum that you should be giving someone.
That's the starting.
That's the start point. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So then you're then jumping on another call potentially to explain all that to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then sometimes, depending on if you've never been coached or you've been coached before, and, I might write some things in your training program, like, we use intensifiers, you may not have used them. So if I just say, here, go away and train, and you open the program and you're like, what's he writing? RP or, failure set, or like, what does it mean? So I'll give an opportunity to kind of go through that and ask any questions. So I can explain it over the phone, so that you walk away and you're like, all right, I fucking know exactly what I'm doing. Let's go.
So you're actually explaining the logic behind the program as well.
Yeah.
And I'm asking you this question, but I already know the answer, but you would basically also say, these are the progress photos that you sent me. I assessed your physique, and this is what the gaps are. These are the strengths, these are your weaknesses, and this is how the program facilitates those.
Yeah. And often what will happen is, as I'm going through the program, someone might say, oh, now I know what you mean. I can see that you're really smashing, my lats and my delts.
Yeah.
As you said, based on that first conversation we had, as something that needed to be prioritized. But I think, what I never want to get caught doing, and I'll go back to me as a starting coach, I had a timeline, but I didn't have it so detailed as I have it now. Now, it's not to say that it's going to be followed, weeks might change slightly, things might come up, life circumstances change, but I just never want to wing it ever. And you know how nice it is to be with someone who's been with you for a year and a half, about to start prep, and you can go and tick back 5 or 6 phases that they've nailed perfectly, even if it was just gaining weight. But you know how easy it is as an athlete to be in off season, watch the scale go up progressively, open up a piece of paper from your coach. It goes, oh, it's all right, coach. It's exactly as he wanted me to.
Yeah.
I was supposed to put on 2.5 kilos in this 6 months, and I've put on 2.7, and he's happy.
Yeah.
But if you're just winging it week to week, and even then, and that's when it goes to the next phase. And if there's no weekly feedback,
yeah,
how does somebody stay, accountable? How does the coach remember? Like, if there's no system, if there's no platform for that.
And also too is, how do you get buy-in of the process? If someone knows up front, I'm starting with this coach, they're giving me a plan, and I'm in a growth phase for the next 6 to 8 months. All right, cool. I know what I need to do. That's my expectation. I'm not going to be asking, when am I
how long am I going to be in this for?
It's already, you already know all that stuff up front. Okay, cool. So you've gone through all that. You've explained everything. You've given reasons why you've programmed what you've programmed. They start. What's the next thing that you do for them, and what's the minimum service that you provide them throughout the weeks?
So we'll talk about minimum service, which, again, if my DMs go a bit above minimum service, because I'm speaking to clients all the time, because it's what I love to do. But the minimum service is that every single week that client or that athlete will be, whether this is competitive or not, right? Even just, lifestyle clients do the same thing. They'll complete a check-in. Now that check-in might be different athlete to athlete, depends on what the goal is, where they'll answer a series of questions. They'll provide photos. They'll have data logged for the week, and they will receive a video response from me, no matter what the phase is, every single week of that 3-year longitudinal plan.
In your videos, you use Loom, which is pretty common in the industry now. You'd probably expect most coaches are using
Yeah, I mean, we've been using it for a long
Yeah,
time.
I don't know if you want to call it the minimum service, because I know coaches, some just do DMs still or email
Yeah.
still. I'd love it to be the minimum service. I think it's something that needs to be the standard, to be honest. And we're going to talk about AI in a second, right?
Yeah,
Because I
I
think
actually got a point on it. So yeah,
because AI is important in this day and age, because if you're doing a video response or even a voice recorder response, right? If you're, for whatever reason, even if someone's messaging you through the week and you're voice recording your response, you maybe you can use AI, but most likely you're not using AI. That's your genuine thoughts, feelings, opinion, and knowledge,
surely you can't.
right?
Surely you can't do it. And
Sure, right?
I mean,
But
I'm not that techie. So
if you're getting a coach that's giving you your check-in responses and potentially any questions that you ask throughout the week, and they're all coming through a message or an email, you can't guarantee that that's them sending that message. Because now you can put anything in the ChatGPT and it can learn how you talk, and it probably has information to answer that question for them. Maybe even answer their check-in for them as well. So I think that's something that I want to become the minimum in the industry, where it should be a video or a voice recording response to any questions or check-ins, because it takes the AI out of it.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I've had days where Loom won't work or won't upload or internet issues, and you go see some of the emails I've typed out, and I look back at them like, that's the amount of exclamation marks, F words, spelling mistakes, grammar.
Yeah, AI's not right. Yeah.
AI would be disgusted in me, right? And I got a funny story actually. I do videos all the time. If there's, sometimes like my videos are 20+ minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe I talk a little bit too much, but one of my athletes, amazing athlete, so Ingrid, who's an absolute workhorse. I told her that I was just having issues with the video, and she's like, just say what you want to say into AI, and just test it on me and send it, right? So I spoke into it with my checking rather than typing it out myself. I spoke into the thing and said, just put this in an email, and we both were like, that's not you.
That's not you. Yeah.
That's not you. And then the next week, when it was working again, I did her normal sort of 20-minute check-in, and she's like, yeah, videos only. I'm so emotional. Like, how could I not do a video?
Yeah.
How could I not? You don't even need to see me. How can you not hear my voice?
Voice explaining.
It's the voice. It's like sometimes, the video might not be on if I'm somewhere where,
Sure.
there's things going on, but you will always hear my voice, because that's what makes the check-in the check-in.
Yeah.
If I'm telling you something's not good, I want you to hear that in my voice. If I'm telling you something needs to be prioritized, I want you to hear that tone. If something's great and I'm so proud of you, I want you to feel how fucking proud I am of you.
Yeah.
And AI can't feel that level of emotion. It can say, it can type out someone being proud, but it can't feel it.
No, of course not. So
And I'm a feels man.
I would love the minimum standard to be that coaches need to give a video or a voice recorded response.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like. I don't think it is a standard at the moment, but I'd love it to be.
Yeah. For me, and any of my athletes know this, I can't think of anything worse than typing something out. Like, I want to talk. Like,
yeah, of course, yeah.
So for me, would be if anyone's ever gotten an email from me because there's been a tech issue or something, they know that would have burnt me so hard to have to type that in, because I want to do the video.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's for me a sign that you love what you do, when it's easier to do that way than have some. I have this feeling if I ever chose to go down that path, it would feel so ingenuine so quickly.
Yeah.
People would leave straight away.
Yeah, I agree. So, check-in responses via Loom, you do them every single week. What's the communication like and the level of service during the week? If someone ever has anything comes up,
it's always there.
It's always there.
It's constant. I mean, I've got athletes I talk to almost every day.
Yeah.
And I've got some that are happy to go about their business and might have a question once a week. They all get the same.
What's the turnaround time for you to answer a question or answer someone's message?
I mean, normally it can be anywhere from like a minute to within 24 hours for sure.
Yeah, okay.
Cool. I mean, I've had some people who have had coaches who, if they got a response within a fortnight, and I was like, but a fortnight should be 2 check-ins. It's like, well, I don't get check-ins.
Yeah, well.
It's like, so how do you know if something needs to change? It's like, well, I'll ask the question. So I was like, so are you coaching yourself?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because coaching's proactive management.
Mhm.
There's a level of reactive management to coaching too, sure, but only when situations require it. But 95% of it should be proactive. It should be pre-planning. It should be structured. It should be organized. If you're reaching out to your coach asking if you're where you need to be, or if you're due for a new this, or if you're,
Mhm.
sometimes you might forget, and the coach, if they come back to you straight away, they're like, yeah, actually 2 weeks after that, you block, great. But if they're not sure either,
Yeah.
I have a story of an athlete. I don't coach this athlete, but I'm a friends with this athlete, and they're in prep, and I think they were somewhere between sort of 6 and 10 weeks out, and they sent some photos too. They got no response. About 5 days later, message and said, "Hey, does anything need to change?" And I saw the response from the coach, and it said, "Can you remind me what phase we're in?"
Oh my
It's
god.
word for word,
Oh my.
word for word. And I promise they were no more than 8 weeks out. It was like,
Jesus. That's so bad.
"Can you remind me?" And this is after 2 weeks of no reply. "Can you remind me what phase we're in?" I was like,
That's-
"Fuck."
So, how often should, I don't want to say an adjustment because an adjustment could be every week, but how often should you be getting a new training program?
Yeah, so I'll touch on adjustments too,
Okay.
because even if I don't make an adjustment for 8 weeks, I'll still say in every check-in.
Not making an adjustment.
And the reason why,
Yeah. Yeah.
everything's going beautifully, biomarkers are so smooth, it'd be silly to make a change right now. Let's hope to run this out for as long as we can before we need to move on. So it'll be addressed.
Mm.
Sure, if there's a change, there'll be a really clear explanation as to why. We're all big believers in the fact that knowledge is power, and we love to give you the knowledge of why we're doing something, because you'll be able to connect to the decision better. You'll be more accountable when you understand. Same with exercise execution. You're big on that too. You've lectured on that. It's like, if you understand the why as to how a muscle moves, or why you're doing an intensifier, what the objective is, you're going to be better at it. It's the same thing with changes. If I make an adjustment, I want you to know the why, because it'll allow you to connect to the process better. When you think about things like training programs, depending on the athlete, but even when I do make a change, it's pretty rare that a lot changes. That being said, sometimes, it's 10 weeks, sometimes it's 14, sometimes it's 18. It'll just depend on that person's progression. It'll depend on whether they're in a growth phase or prep. Sometimes in prep, I do make slightly more changes, particularly as I get to the back end and I start to pull out some movements that, I can see that loads come right back. They're really starting to struggle to connect with that now. And I feel like if it's 4 weeks out or 6 weeks out, there's probably a better ways to skin a cat when it comes to just maintaining a level of consistency and keeping volume higher. But sometimes in an off season, man, yeah, I don't think anything below 12 to 16 weeks is, and if it is, it's just some of the isolated stuff and some rep scheme changes. So it might be, a press, or let's just say it's an RDL, where it might be 2 heavy sets of 8 and a 12 plus back offset. It might be 2 heavy sets of 6 and a 20 rep back offset.
Yeah.
So I'm just scheming the reps, not the movement patterns.
So, no one's chasing you for a new program. Normally, you're telling them when it's coming and why it needs to come at this certain time, or why we need to continue to go on. So, there's no athlete saying, "I haven't had a program in 3 months. Where is it?"
Yeah.
It's normally you've told them along the way how long it's going to be for.
Well, I put it in kahunas.
Okay.
So another example. So this week I had Trista, who did her check-in yesterday, and said, I noticed that Kahuna's had a program update due for the 18th of March.
Mhm.
I haven't seen it in there. So I wrote back yesterday. I said, yeah, absolutely. The reason it's not is because Trista went away. She's with the army.
Mhm.
She did a 10-day staff. She was away for 10 days.
Okay,
And then it was Easter.
so a week or two that you can
It
extend.
was like there was no point putting it in. You weren't going to be able to do it properly.
Yeah, sure.
And then it's Easter. So it's in there straight away. So like she knew, because she could see it in there.
Yeah, okay.
So, and the reason I do that is, again, you know when it's coming. Oh, 2 more weeks to ring this program out. I don't have to remind them all the time, because they know what's happening.
So put this in reverse though, right? A minimum level of service if someone was needing an adjustment to their program because they had an injury, all of a sudden an injury come up. What's the level of service they should get from their coach in that aspect? Should a coach be like, just work around it for now, you'll be right? Or
Man, there's communication that same day, and if a change is needed, it's that night. And if it's we're just we're not changing everything, but we need to make modifications based on it. There's constant conversation.
So you're jumping on it straight away.
Straight away.
Yeah, I know. I had a client that's in prep at the moment, and their physique changed. I put their program in, and I've had their check-ins for the last couple of weeks, and their physique is changing. That it's uncovering things on their physique that I hadn't seen before, And I was like, I actually want to change your program.
Yeah.
After seeing that, and you've just got a new one. You just had it for 2 weeks. But now from that check-in photo, I'm like, ooh, there's an area there I want to target more. And I
So
went in and I updated like 4 exercises in the program. I was like,
you don't need this there, or you do
yeah,
need that
you
there.
actually need this. I actually want you to do this instead of that. When you do this, tell me about the activation. So
You know what you should do next time?
that's proactive, right? That's looking at something and being like, I know I put all this energy into making a program, but
But
fucking we can make it better.
That's all right.
We can make it better. It's got to be better.
Next time, just write back and go, just remind me what phase we're in. I think that's the ideal option moving forward.
Yeah. Actually, now I want to bring something else up. Posing, right? So obviously I pick this up from their progress photos, from their video. They were doing posing. I addressed certain things and exposed something else, right? How much should a coach, a comp prep coach, know about posing?
I mean, as much as possible. I mean, here's the thing. I think we've also got, I think a lot of comp prep coaches got reasonable eyes. And I often pick things up that, it's not because the posing coach is doing anything wrong. It's more just like they're taking their photos in the morning. They forget to flare something or to rotate something. But then when they do it correctly and rotate it, sometimes if you're in a posing lesson and you're going from this pose to that pose and you're doing walks, when you just hold a pose for a photo sometimes, and you're like, actually, move your foot slightly further forward, and that makes your glute look better. But now all of a sudden your hips are a little bit too square. So it would be really easy to just ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
But are we doing the right thing by the athlete if we aren't bringing those things up? And sometimes, I'm of the belief if there's enough time before someone's show, if you bring it up.
Yeah.
If it's so close that it's going to mess with their head, then maybe you might be a little bit mindful, but you should be assessing these things. I've actually got some athletes who are prepping at the moment and, finances are a little bit tight and they just can't afford, they're in a different state. They just can't afford to pay for this posing coach's fees. They're a single mum and we're actually doing the posing together just online. We're just tweaking it every single week as part of the check-in.
Yeah. So that was going to be my next question is, should the minimum level of service be that a coach should actually be giving posing feedback as well and assessing people's posing?
If they're skilled enough to do so, yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think it's such an important part that in your check-ins, it doesn't have to be every week, but you should be asking for posing videos. And obviously you've got progress photos. When you're assessing their physique and you're giving them feedback, you should be giving them posing feedback as well whenever you're giving that assessment.
Yeah, what I do in the check-ins is I'll actually play it for the first time on the check-in. So they get my
Initial
raw
reaction.
assessment result, like what I think should. It's not premeditated at all. I'll play it for the first time on it.
Yeah, okay.
I do the same with exercise selection with the form video sometimes.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
You watch it as you go? Yeah.
Absolutely. Because I know that what I'm seeing and what's going to come out of my mouth is going to be, genuine from what I'm seeing. And I'm not trying to fabricate anything in terms of like over cueing. Sometimes if I feel like if I was to watch it so much, I'm trying to pick things up.
Yes.
Sometimes that aren't there. Whereas if I watch it, yeah, there might be one or two things which I'll point out, but I feel like I'm coaching it in a more genuine way, like as if they were in front of us.
Yeah, I love that. Now you spoke about form check videos. Is that also minimum level of service?
I mean, I've got athletes that put 5 in a week. I review all 5. I've got some that do none.
Yeah.
So if I ask for one, which I do often, for sure, sometimes I'm like, you haven't progressed this exercise for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Can you send me your 2 top sets this week? Just want to have a look at it. And then, of course, when they film it, they overload it after 3 or 4 weeks of not overloading it. So even just for that sometimes. But yeah, I mean, if you need a form check, your coach should give you a form check.
Yeah. So that should be part of the coaching. Should be that.
Yeah, I don't think that
should be assessing your form.
I don't think that coaches should be following you up for form videos unless there's something they want to check.
Mm-hmm.
But if you ask for one, without a doubt, you should get one.
I've probably been a little bit more vigilant, maybe in the last 6 months or so. Is I'm just going to a program and being like, I want you to send me that.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I used to do a lot of that.
Just picking things out.
Yeah.
And normally it'll have a theme. Like this week's going to be upper body, day 4 only. I want to see those 2 exercises.
Yeah.
And get them to send them to me. Because I also understand too is at a gym, sometimes it's hard to film yourself.
Sure.
Some people feel a little bit conscious, a little bit nervous. They don't want to be an influencer with their little tripod. I get it. Some people are uncomfortable. But I still, once they do one and you give them the feedback and they see the benefit from that feedback,
then they don't want to do more.
Holy shit, I'm going to film everything for you. Yeah, so I think it's definitely something that you should be getting from a coach as a minimum level of service.
Yeah, as long as you know what phase you're in. It's really important.
Tell me what exercise that is again.
Tell me what your goal was. It's like saying, tell me what your goal is.
Yeah.
That's what that fucking reads to me.
Okay, so we've spoken about that. We've spoken about check-ins. We've spoken about communication throughout the week. What things the coach should be assessing. Do you want to talk a little bit about maybe peak week or leading into a show? Like, what's the minimum level that you should be getting from your coach? Should a coach be at your show if they can? Those
For
kind of
sure.
things.
I mean, if you just look at, we go back to the longitudinal plan, but fast forward to the prep part. Again, that prep is also documented. So, I'll put what each of the phases, let's say it's a 26-week prep, I'll put digging phases, non-digging phases, refeeds if possible, rates of loss, trial peak weeks, all of that in there. And in some athletes, the ones that I feel are good to handle this, I'll actually put target weights for the whole prep along through. But from a peak week perspective, you should have a peak week plan before peak week.
Yes.
Even if I wouldn't expect it to be a week before, but because it is a day-by-day case at that point. But let's just say you should get it before the first day, unless you know that it's a Sunday show. You're not going to carve up till Wednesday, so Monday, Tuesday, nothing's going to change. You might get it Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, for me, if there's specific supplements or things I need them to buy and
you'll
purchase,
preempt it. Yeah,
I've normally sent the email out 3-4 weeks before the show because sometimes they need to go to the shops, get it delivered or whatever me. So if I want them to buy salt tablets or citrullimation, like I would have sent them an email, and it's an email that I send to every client. It's unless there's a certain
comes
supplement.
together.
Yeah, it's like make sure you've got all this ready for the show, that kind of stuff. So you should be, a coach should be giving you that information, but well before your show. And then, peak week plan. Normally, I'll give it a week before peak week, but again, it's not complete.
Yeah.
But at least it gives them what's it going to look like. Most likely, this day you're going to be doing this. Most likely, this day you're going to be doing that, and this is how it's going to go down. So at least they understand what to expect. But then you also tell them day by day it could change.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on that, it'll be a day by day plan.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're doing each day, what the nutrition system is, which will have the meal plan attached for that specific day. There might be 4 meal plans that week.
Yeah.
What training you will be doing, what steps and cardio, if any, will be in there. Water, sodium, sleep, like all that's in there as well.
Yeah.
And it's a day by day. And it does say, I want photos. For me, let's say it's a Sunday show. Normally I ask for photos from Wednesday to Sunday. I also ask for pre-bed weight as well as AM weight from Wednesday to Sunday because I want to know how much change is happening inside. So it's very detailed. And as I said, it's got each nutrition system for each of the different days will be attached to it as well, which are all subject to change. But if it is subject to change, it'll be, it's not going to be something new or something out of the box. It'll be something that they're already having. But there's daily communication. I mean, I'm asking for photos every day and pre-bed weight. So it's a lot of back and forth, but it's all for valid reasons. Like,
and then they should have a plan for their show day.
They'll definitely have that.
Yeah.
Like the same week, normally a few days out. Again, depending on the night before, I'm communicating with them the night before as well.
Yeah.
But I'll give them a plan, and it might be like, hey, you woke up a little bit lighter than I thought. I want you to add this to meal one, but it's in front of them. They know what to do, but it might also be subject to change. If it's not subject to change, if you get a plan and your coach doesn't talk to you until the show day, are you really?
That's not peaking.
Are you really? Yeah, I mean, that's laziness, but that's even I understand like the difficulty. My wife even knows. She's like, hey, in peak week, she understands that maybe I do need to be on my phone a little bit later than normal and these sorts of things. But it's because we're assessing as we go, right? That's the whole point. It's assess. Make a decision. Assess, make a decision. There's no way you're not picking someone if you give a plan 7 days out and don't look at anything else.
When you're assessing and they're sending you photos, are you then sending some kind of voice recording or a Loom response assessing their photos back?
Yeah, or
you just give them a thumbs up and they're like, yeah, great.
I'm calling.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Sometimes like it'll be like the second GTS session and it looks so amazing. I just
call them.
I'm just so excited.
Yeah.
So, or it'll be a VM, or it might be if it's day 1 of the the carb up, will be like, cool, what's in a VM? Yeah, exactly as expected today. Tomorrow's probably when we'll start to see, things really shift. Keep an eye on this, and this tomorrow. Talk tomorrow, like.
Yeah, cool. So you're giving them some
every day
response.
Day and night.
Yeah, it's not a thumbs up emoji.
Day and night.
Like that,
It's also like the reason I'm asking for the nighttime is like if you're about to go to bed and you're the same weight as you were when you woke up, I should attenuate that now. I'm going to do something about it. I'm not going to just hope that. Well, I know what's going to happen if I do nothing.
You're going to end up light in the morning.
So we're asking for a reason. It's like,
yeah.
So if I don't do anything with the information, it's pointless. But if I'm not communicating with you, I'm not doing anything with the
Yeah, of
information.
course. Yeah, totally.
So,
Agree.
but yeah, man, like we all know, we could talk about this for 3 days, to be honest. There's so much more that we like. I'd love to do an episode and just talk to you a little bit about, we don't have time for it today, but like red flag type stuff, or, you know, if you speak to a coach, go back to that first thing and their first go to is X, Y, and Z.
Well, if they're
Like if they're not asking you this, this, and this, or if they're telling you to do this, this, and this in the first conversation you're having with them,
yeah,
run, like that sort of stuff. Because
yeah, if they're just trying to pump a whole bunch of supplements or peptides or drugs or whatever, and
yeah, like
that's the way you fix
if your coach is your dealer, that's a red flag. No,
yeah,
that's a fucking red flag for me.
it is true. So
That's probably the coach that might not know what phase you're in.
yeah, no, I think
Probably
so.
knows what drug phase you're in, but
Yeah,
not what.
yeah. All right, so let's quickly then talk about AI because we spoke about it a little bit, right? But do you use AI in your current business and service, and what do you use it for?
Yeah. So for example, where AI has been great for me, I hate typing.
Mhm.
I fucking hate typing. So like when I do my longitudinal plans, I will say, all right, I've got Michael Trimboli. We are competing in this season. Now, what we want to do is I want to phase out the next 12 months. It's going to look like this. So what I would like you to do for me is prepare a Word document. Now, he's currently at this weight. So what we're going to do is we're going to enter his first push phase. The focus from a muscle growth perspective is X, Y, and Z. We're going to run at a rate of gain for this many weeks, calculate what that end weight's going to be. At that point, we're going to move into our first cleanup phase, which is going to be, so I'm telling it everything. It's just putting it into a Word doc form.
So using it as a scribe.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm using it as a scribe.
Scribe, yeah, okay.
It's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And for that, it's been so helpful.
Yeah. Anything else? Do you use it for anything else?
No.
One thing that
No.
I use it for.
Make fun pictures.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I use it for is when I do my Loom recording, right? It's Loom gives you a transcript, right? I'll pop that transcript into AI and it'll give me a summary of what I said. That makes sense? Which I think Loom does it automatically, but the summary is
even know
shit, right? And then when I send them the Loom recording, I'll send them the summary as well. That makes it. Now, look, I'll read over the summary and modify because sometimes it gets it completely wrong. But at least what I find it useful for and what clients have told me is if they can't listen to my Loom straight away, at least they could read the summary and be like, cool, no changes. That, this, and this.
I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
I just want to see what it comes back with.
Well, it's just summarizing what you said. For instance, this podcast, I dump the transcript into AI and it gives me the description of what the post should be or whatever the YouTube description should be, right? It tells me what we spoke about.
Title?
And it picks the title, but it's never good. Like I have to go through everything again.
Today's episode title: Cosplay is cool. No drug dealer coaches. Can you have ice Nescafe hot?
AI, if you're listening, that needs to be that. That needs. I wonder if it's going to do it. It'd be so funny.
And if it incorporates something about me doing Timsy Missionary. Yeah, MJ does Timsy Missionary. That could do it.
So we are using AI, but we're using it as a scribe or as someone to help with administrative tasks.
For example, 16 weeks, I want to run at 0.1 to 0.2% of body weight per week. The athlete's 84 kilos. Work out what the max in bandwidth weight is for that period.
Yeah, cool, fair enough. So it's
I don't have to get a calculator. Like,
yeah, it makes sense. Yeah,
but it's not doing any strategy.
The only other thing I would use it for is like a Google instead of using a Google. So if someone says I'm on this medication, I'll be like, cool, I'm going to put that, instead of putting it into Google, I'll put it into...
Yeah, find out a bit more about it.
To tell me a little bit more about it, because I might be like, hey, what's the research? What's this? What's the side effects? So instead of me going through 1,001 websites, it gives me the information. So I'll use it as a research tool to find out some information as well. But what's good about AI for the athlete is they can also fact check their coach.
For sure.
So not that it knows comp prep and it knows bodybuilding, but it definitely knows supplements. It definitely knows food, macros, those kind of simple things. So if your coach says to you, oh, you need to take creatine because it gives you a pump, and you'd be like, no, that's not what it does. No, you're talking about something else.
Yeah.
So I think it's also good to use AI as an athlete. Actually, I have one of my athletes who does their meal plan in AI because I give them their macros and they're like,
build it.
They'll do their own meal plan because they'll go in there and they'll talk to it and they'll say, this is my macros. I want to have 4 meals. I actually really like this. Can you make sure that's in there? I like to buy this. I like to buy that. I like to have this. I'm allergic to this. I'm allergic to that. Can you make my meals for me? And it kind of will give you something. And then they'll basically build their plan out. That's how they'll do it.
It's crazy. I wonder if AI can do my landscape gardening for me.
Definitely.
That's what I use it for. It's funny because I know I'm just about to train with Luke. Luke walked in. Luke does the gardens, and sometimes I'll take photos of my backyard and be like, "Make this space better."
Yeah.
Yes,
I've used AI for that.
Make this fairy garden better.
House renovations and stuff. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. All right. Hopefully we get Scotty back next week.
Yeah.
And we'll get some more questions.
The question is, can everybody message Scotty and say, Scotty, do the potty at MG's?
Oh,
because I want to. He can sit here. I want to sit on this beanbag. I'm desperate to sit on this beanbag.
okay.
I'll do the whole episode on a beanbag if they listen.
How many people need a message just to make it happen?
One. Just one.
I'll just go in there and message.
Just one. One's enough.
We'll see what we can do.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. We'll see you in the next one.